Big news from the financial world. The US Federal Reserve is making waves with plans to acquire a whopping 21 million bitcoins. Following optimistic remarks from Fed Chair Jerome Powell on potential interest rate cuts, Bitcoin surged by 2%. Stay tuned as the crypto market braces for this monumental development. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and let's start. So we're starting off with 500 days since Bitcoin hit the bear market bottom. In 2020, Bitcoin went up 732% over the next 12 months from the same point. If Bitcoin repeats this, it will hit 491,000 by April 2025. The next one just in. $1.5 trillion asset manager Franklin Templeton says ordinals drive positive momentum in Bitcoin innovation. Institutions are coming. Bitcoin history is repeating itself. What we had already before is building up right now. What's the next price movement we are going to get? Write down in the comments what do you think. New $1.5 trillion asset manager Morgan Stanley reportedly racing to offer Bitcoin ETFs to all clients. Gradually, then suddenly. Also, the undisclosed nation state just hit the $4 billion in Bitcoin. They are now $2 billion in profit, so just you know that. History is repeating. Once Bitcoin breaks out, altcoins will fly. I'm ready. Are you ready for this one? Also, the Bitcoin surge is promising as for the first time in 2 months, we are witnessing a spot premium and the increasing organically driven, which is crucial. The last time we saw this was between the end of the January and the beginning of February when Bitcoin started its upward rally from the $40,000 to $70,000 plus. 4 billion plus record shorts are piling up at the moment, and I think many will lose their ass. Shorting and market in a bullish trend is legit asking to get wrecked. The more Tether prints, the higher Bitcoin goes. That's what you should understand, the basics that everybody should know. In 2023, at the block 1411-200, 99% of all the Bitcoin ever created, ever available, will be circulation in over a massive period of 106 years. As the last 1%, 210 Bitcoin will be issued. So here's the math. 21 million percent on 100 is 210,000. 21 million minus 210,000 is basically 20,790,000. 20,790,000 is minus 20,671 supplies the 6 halving in 2032. 118,121 Bitcoin missing. So which is percentage of 151 blocks, 151,000 blocks on 144. So it's 2.88 years. Then we go 2034, which is basically never before in the history of mankind has it been possibly to determine that amount of money with a 100% reliability, even many decades in the future. The Federal Reserve or ECB cannot even determine the money supply of tomorrow. They have thousands of employees. Bitcoin has 0. The mathematically verifiability of money, its supply and timetable will be complete novelty not only for people as individuals but also companies and especially governments and banks. So the way of thinking about the money and its rarity will be entirely different compared to fiat, where we have no verifiable references and therefore the feeling of appreciation for money is lost, especially the more there is of it. And we could basically see that individuals can work out for themselves what part of the total supply they have, and they can calculate with numbers and thus create scenarios about the distribution of money. States can do the same. They absolutely will act and react differently geopolitically and economically than they do now. So at a first glance, it sounds very insignificant to know how much money there is and when, but I'm convinced that this will shift the world as we know it into a completely new one with developments and effects we cannot figure out yet. The next one, just a couple of days left as basically Bitcoin halving is about to approach us. The next one we go, just in over 20 million of shorts were liquidated in an hour. Don't bet against Bitcoin. Bitcoin price dopamine is real thing. On up days I check it regularly and all day feel buy out. On down days there's urge to scroll endlessly in search of other things to give me a hit, even though I know short-term price is irrelevant. Working to retrain myself around this, and that's what basically most humans do. Humans didn't know Antarctica existed 24 years ago. Now we have every square foot mapped with a satellite in space. Yet some people call me too bullish for saying Bitcoin is going to at least take over fight in the next 100 years. Most have the time preference of a child. Bitcoin recovers as US Federal Reserve signals encouraging interest rate outlook. Bitcoin recovered by 2% on April 4th, following encouraging signals from the US Federal Reserve that sparked a broad rally in risk assets. Data from TradingView showed that Bitcoin's price on central crypto exchanges rose to $67,000 at the Wall Street opening, while Bitcoin joined the US stock indices in an intraday rise. Gold fell after reaching an all-time high of over $2,300. So what's happening on the US front? The previous day, Fed Chair Jerome Powell spoke in a dovish tone about the economic policy, suggesting that interest rate cuts could actually come before the end of the 2024, a significant boon for risky assets. Speaking at the Stanford Business, Government and Society Forum organized by the Stanford Graduate School of Business in California, Powell stated, "Since last July, we have been keeping our policy interest rate at its current level, and as seen in individual projections released by FOMC 2 weeks ago, my colleagues and I continue to believe that the policy interest rate is likely at its peak for its tightening cycle," as Powell referred to the upcoming Federal Open Market Committee meeting in May. However, the latest data from the CME Group's Fed Watch tool still shows only a 61% chance at the best for a minimum 0.25% interest rate cut at this meeting or the next one in June. Meanwhile, the latest US initial jobless claims came in slightly above the expectations at 221,000 against the anticipated 214,000, providing additional upward momentum for market movement. So, analysts' take on Bitcoin. Analyzing the current Bitcoin market structure, popular investor and analyst Pierre noted that a 200-period exponential moving average on the 4-hour timeframes provided support. As optimistic as usual, analyst Jelly looked at promising signals on the daily chart as a reason to suspect the next upward continuation, as Bitcoin's relatively strength index crossed above the key 50-point mark on the daily close, and Jelly shared the following remarks on this subject we have. So that's kind of all the news we got for today's video, and if you are interested in more, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. See you in the next one, and peace.